They not like us. Okay? They not like us. Trying to get y'all to grasp what is being said. See, I get some of this knowledge and information go over some of our heads. So I'm going to come from the book of Luke. And we're going to start at chapter 11 and verse 37. It says, "And as he spoke, a certain Pharisee asked him to dine with him." Okay? As he spoke, a certain Pharisee asked him to dine with him. So he went in and sat down to eat. When the Pharisee saw, he marveled that he had not first washed before dinner. So this Pharisee was awed by the fact that his cleanliness didn't require for him to have to wash before sitting down to eat. His aura, right, was still up to par by dinner time, that he did not have to wash before he sat down to eat. His aroma was still up to par by dinner time, that it wasn't required for him to wash before he sat down to eat. Okay? It says, "Then the Lord said to him, Now you Pharisees make the outside of the cup and dish clean, but your inward part is full of greed and wickedness." So he's sitting there clean. Now, you see, the thing is, we ain't saying there was no dirt on him, right? That's not what we're saying. We're saying that it wasn't required of him to do as these Pharisees do. Right? And then when they sat down, he began to tell them about themselves. He was like, look, on the outside you dolled up, you're appealing to the eye, you washed your body in the public spaces, a public area of to be seen bathing. You do all of those things, but on the inside, he said, what? Your inward parts is full of greed and wickedness. Okay? He called them foolish ones. Did not he who made the outside make the inside also? So what is God saying? He's saying, you fool, do you really think that you're going to be able to deceive me out of knowing who you really and truly are? Right? I can look at the outside of you and know what's going on the inside of you, because your outside, right, speaks to or about the inside, the working that is going on the inside. Okay? He said, but rather give alms of such things as you have. Then indeed all things are clean to you. Okay, so instead of trying to fool me with the outward cleanliness or you faking the funk, right? He said, but instead give alms of such things as you have. He said, instead, find the awe of what you've already found awe in. The fact that I can come sit down by dinner time and still be in an acceptable aura, an acceptable aroma to the Most High. So basically he's saying you are correct in that you find, or you are awed by the fact that it isn't required for me to have to refresh myself, put on this face of a cleanliness from the time of the first, or maybe waking up in the morning to about dinner time. So the point is, like I spoke on before, when you're working a work of harlotry, then by a certain time to the end of another time, something may need to take place for you to continue in the subtle aversion of the wickedness of your greed. Right? So we got to talk about Bathsheba. Y'all want to say she was the innocent party, but we got to ask, did she not know she was married? Right? Or did she not know she was seen bathing outside? Or did she give into what the king had wanted from her for the simple fact that he was the king? Right? And lastly, did she know what she was doing? Having the issue of wanting or greed flowing through her, that she operated in a way to get what she wanted. Right? So here's what this scripture is saying. We all have dirt on us. Some people's dirt are beyond surface. Right? Some people take it to a whole nother level. And then they try to deceive others by the dirt that they hide, or the dirt that they carry. In this particular passage, the Pharisee attempted to deceive the Holy One. Okay? And it was shut down as soon as it was picked up on. Saying, do you think that you're going to fool me into believing you don't know what's going on with you? And therefore getting away with me not knowing what's going on with you? Okay? He says, but woe to you, Pharisee, for you tithe mint and rue and all manner of herbs, and pass by justice and the love of God. Okay? So what is he telling them? You go and you give out mint, you give out herbs, you're trading fruits and vegetables, or, doing the work of someone righteous and chosen by God. He says, but you pass by justice and the love of God. Right? So when it comes to you being a just person, when it comes to you receiving the love and righteous works of God, you like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. Right? So God is saying, then what are you doing? You're tithing, and yet the embodiment for why or how come you are tithing, you give no reverence to. So now it's a thing of sight, of trying to be seen, of wanting to be seen for the accolade and the praise of things. But the whole inside of you is rotten to the core. You are operating to deceive someone. You are operating for greed of something. Perhaps getting good with the king so that you can end up in his kingdom. It says, these you ought to have done without leaving the others undone. Right? So what is he saying? There's nothing wrong with you tithing. Right? He's saying at the end of the day, this should have happened at your cleanliness as well. You should have cleansed yourself in the righteous way. And then also gave your tithes. But when you're just trying to deceive someone into getting or lure them, here's where you see seduction, right? When you're just operating to seduce, your mind is not on doing the righteous works of God. Your mind is on doing whatever it takes to get what you want. And then he says in verse 43 of Luke chapter 11, says, woe to you, Pharisee, for you love the best seats in the synagogues and greetings in the marketplaces. Right? So you want to be seen. All eyes on you. If black culture does black music, here comes people of color trying to closely resemble and take over the scene. Okay, he says, woe to you. Now 44 says, woe to you also. But my Bible says that where it says scribes and Pharisees and hypocrites, that's not, that was just, it says it was added in some way or form. So it just says, woe to you, Pharisees, for you love the best seats in the synagogues and greetings in the marketplaces. Woe to you. It says, for you are like graves which are not seen. You guys are walking graves. You just dead on the inside. Rotten. Imbuing a stench that is not is like no other. And the men who walk over are not aware. This sounds like that story where I said, Wadaifi left from the midst, and when they came back, she still smelled like Wadaifi, and then now so did he. So they went off and did whatever they did. It sounded like someone trying to walk over her, unaware that you're dipping in the grave. You know?